UAW has a new deadline set for the Big Three to reach a deal. Otherwise, they could call on more plants across the country to strike. How that could affect you coming up at 5.
Guns, drugs, and teenagers. Not a good combination, especially when the teenagers are from this school, and now they're looking at attempted murder charges. I've got details coming up.
Also, a few sprinkles here a little south of us in southwestern parts of the state. We'll time out if we see any repercussions from that in the forecast coming up.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 5 starts now.
More than 10,000 UAW members are on strike, and that number could increase if contract talks fail to make progress in the next few days.
The workers say they're fighting for their fair share, but each day the strike goes on, it puts a strain on the entire auto industry. Let's get live to Fox 2's Scott Wolchuk. He's been covering this really from the beginning, and he's getting kind of a pulse of what people are saying and what they're feeling. Scott.
Thank you very much, Roop and Taryn. Yes, absolutely. As you can see, we've got the strikers still going strong out here, and truly a lot of passion out here on the picket line outside of Ford Final Assembly in Wayne. Now, a big thing that you got to keep in mind is that as the strike goes on, this really affects everybody, especially since automotive and manufacturing is such a big part of Michigan's economy.
We do what we got to do to get what we need.
UAW picketers not backing down as the strike continues. The Big Three have until Friday at noon to reach a deal before UAW President Shawn Fain calls upon other plants across the country to walk out.
If they close more, it certainly will have an impact on manufacturers of all sizes, whether unionized or not, across the state.
John Walsh with the Michigan Manufacturers Association says our state is home to around 620,000 manufacturers, and this strike could cause strong ripple effects throughout the supply chain.
It's all on a timely basis. So adding 10 more facilities makes it even that much more worse.
Because much of Michigan's economy revolves around automotive and manufacturing. Industries still trying to find their footing post-pandemic. If supplies and orders are put on pause, other shops will feel the pinch.
What I'm hearing is they're preparing. For some, it could be layoffs within a week. Others could be a month. There's a lot of variables to it, Scott. It has to do with who their customers are. Whether they have diversified into other industries or they might be providing parts for the domestic and foreign manufacturers.
And despite potential impending layoffs, manufacturers are resilient. Walsh says the mood is cautiously optimistic.
People are truly hopeful that the UAW and the Big Three can find their way to a resolution yet this week.
Now, as you heard, obviously a lot riding on the decisions between the Big Three and the UAW. And as you heard from our expert over there at the Michigan Manufacturers Association, could certainly impact a lot of jobs here in our state. Reporting live in Wayne, Scott Wolchuk, Fox 2 News. Roop.
Yeah, Scott, the last time we saw a strike that wasn't nearly this big, it seemed in some ways. More than $3 billion was lost by General Motors in 2019. That was the economic impact. Every day counts here, and those negotiations have to take place. How are they going?
You know, that's a great question. A lot of things have been going on behind closed doors. We know that since the deadline passed last week, we have seen some updated offers from Stellantis and Ford. Obviously, each time that these guys are offering something new, you see the wages increase a little bit. You see that they're offering and kind of cautiously adding a little bit more to the table. Obviously, anything could change by the end of this week.
All right, we'll be watching it closely. Scott Wolchuk for us live tonight. Thank you.
Well, tonight we've learned a Livonia City Councilman was involved in a traffic crash that seriously hurt an off-duty Livonia police officer. The crash happened back on September 7th on Middle Belt near 6 Mile. Rob Donovic was traveling in a pickup truck when he hit the motorcycle. At last check, that off-duty officer was listed in critical condition. In a statement, Donovic told Fox 2 he's asking for prayers for the officer and his family and called it every driver's worst nightmare being involved in a car accident. Right now, police are not commenting on the investigation.
Well, the 14-year-old is charged as a juvenile one day after another teenager was accidentally shot in Dearborn Heights. This was the scene Monday afternoon on Grayfield Street near Joy Road. Dearborn Heights police say the teen was handing the gun when it went off, shooting his 16-year-old friend in the forehead. That 16-year-old was taken to the hospital and will survive, according to investigators. Police say the suspect left the scene after the shooting but turned himself in hours later. He's being charged now for careless discharge of a weapon. An update on a shooting in Warren where 4 high school students are now facing attempted murder charges.
The shooting sent several schools into lockdown and police combed the area. Fox News' Charlie Langton has the latest on the case.
Last Thursday, just as Warren Woods Tower High School was getting out, shots were fired in broad daylight. Schools were put on lockdown, and the suspects were on the run until now.
We're really here to announce a major development in a shooting investigation.
They just arrested 4 people for the shooting, 4 teenagers who go to Warren Woods.
You've got to be kidding.
It only took Warren police 5 days to apprehend 2 14-year-olds and 2 15-year-olds who police say shot a 26-year-old victim who now could be very well paralyzed for life.
During the search warrants, investigators located and seized a total of 5 weapons, which are pictured here. Investigators are working to identify the guns used in the shooting, and we firmly believe that 2 of these weapons were used in the shooting.
3 of the teenagers were from Warren, the other one, Oak Park. All students go to Warren Woods Tower, and they were formally arraigned on Tuesday and held in the Macomb County Juvenile Justice Center. But the reason for the shooting, Commissioner?
The investigation further shows the victim was known to sell marijuana in the area. We believe this was also a factor in the well-planned robbery attempt.
It was allegedly 4 teenagers shot over a robbery for marijuana.
We cannot tolerate the thought that young people this age are involved in violent crime with guns.
In fact, Commissioner Dwyer says that there's been a 30% increase in homicides by juveniles.
He was shot in the left arm, right hand, and in the throat.
The prosecutor will now have the option to charge these 4 as adults, and the investigation is not over. Others could be charged.
Unbelievable. If you don't teach your kids and guide them, you best believe the street gonna do it.
In Warren, Charlie Langton, Fox 2 News.
Mel Tucker is speaking out one day after MSU announced it plans to fire him amid a sexual harassment investigation. In a statement, Tucker says, quote, "I don't believe MSU plans to fire me because I admitted to an entirely consensual private relationship with another adult who gave one presentation at MSU at my behest over 2 years ago. A cursory reading of the facts and timeline should cause any fair-minded person to conclude that other motives are at play," end quote. Now, Tucker also claims MSU has known the basic facts of the case since last March, but only moved to fire him after the story went public. He also says he asked to go on medical leave for a serious health issue a few days before learning he would be fired. Tucker is accused of harassing a sexual assault survivor and activist.
All right, we're seeing a great stretch of weather this week, so we hope you're able to get out and enjoy it. It really is nice.
It really is. I mean, there's really nothing else more to say about it. We're going to check in with Stephanie Mead now to see if it's going to last.
Yeah, I do think we see a lot of nice weather down the road, too. We just have a few minor hiccups here and there. A few stray showers down near southwestern parts of the state. These are very light in nature, nothing that's creating any severe weather, but could potentially impact us as we head through late tonight and early tomorrow morning, so something to plan ahead for. This is by around 5 o'clock, so right now, out in our westernmost communities, a bit closer to Jackson, just outside of Ann Arbor. This is all tracking towards the east-southeast. You notice a large amount of that rain, though, up near northern parts of Indiana. So that's going to stay well south of us. And I think for the most part, our shower chances very hit and miss at best. We see a lot of cloud cover begin to fill in overnight. And then early tomorrow morning, that potential for a stray shower, not out of the question. And as we get deeper on into your day, I think we'll scale back that rain chance. Otherwise, nothing widespread, nothing severe anticipated out of this. And it doesn't look to be in the forecast for much longer once we bypass tomorrow. Temperatures topping out right now in the upper 60s. We're at 69 in the metro area right now, 66. Up near Pontiac, 70 degrees in Flint right now. Your evening planner calls for numbers to fall to the 50s as we head closer to midnight tonight with that stray sprinkle in the mix. We do see 80s in the forecast, so we are warming up as we head to the end of the week. We'll show you how long that trend lasts in the forecast in about 10 minutes or so. Roop?
All right, Stephanie and Taryn, get ready for this. Cuteness overload to show you at Metro Airport, and it's all for a great cause. About a dozen Golden Retriever and Labrador puppies are visiting the McNamara Terminal today. Why couldn't I have a flight today, huh? They're training with Michigan-based nonprofit Paws with a Cause to become assistance dogs for people with disabilities. The goal is to expose the dogs to various settings, including the airport. The animals are going through security and baggage claim. They're riding the tram, and they're going inside elevators, and they're also boarding planes.
This is really important for our puppies as well, because eventually when they're placed with our clients, they may well need to fly with them. So if they have this exposure now while they're young, then it means it's not going to be a big deal for them when they're with their clients when they're older.
They're much more courteous than the passengers that I've sat next to on the plane. This is nice. We're told Paws with a Cause is always looking for volunteers to help raise puppies.